Jerome ji, you have talked about how the whole funding happens and how some people have really made a lot of money out of it as well. But look at India inside India as well. There are a lot of resources and sometimes disproportionate resources that are held on to by the church. How does this happen? Can you tell us about that?
See, I do not know if there. I'll throw some statistics to all of us, to all of you. The church in India is the second largest owner of non-agricultural land. The church principal role is to invest in real estate because these are investments which is a far-reaching impact because you get hold of land. The church has at its disposal land which it can use the way it wants to, commercial purpose, religious purpose, you name it, or social purposes, and these are all money making machines. Strangely, um many of these laws were made by Portugal when Portugal was in India, and these laws are still inherited by the church. And the government is not aware. I'm sure the government is not aware of it. Many of these lands were given at throwaway prices or throwaway deals by the Europeans to these missionaries. And today, these lands are used to generate funds to run whatever they want to. When I said whatever they want to, whatever they want to. The annual turnover of the church in India is equal to the budget of the Indian Navy. You're talking about 2% Christians in India, and look at the turnover, annual turnover, which is equal to the budget of the Indian Navy.
Right.
That's a missionary which is there. The church in India is a sovereign within a sovereign.
Right.
Okay, it's a state within a state. You like it or don't like it. That's the fact. Today, if you go to the church for anything, you say, I have the canon law. Canon law is nothing but the church law. Vatican is the one which imposes these. These are from the Vatican. So, can you imagine? You have a state within a state. That's the way the church functions in India. The church itself does not know what kind of land it owns. I will give you a couple of examples which I am aware of, and if I want to, I can write theses about these incidents. The church in India, somewhere near my place, which is prime spot, which is 2 acres of land. It's at the prime spot. It's an empty land which is used as a stadium. Is at a 1 rupee lease. Okay, and this same institution rents it at 15,000 rupees a day. The same place. Okay, this is the luxury what they enjoy, and this institution says that we are doing social service, we are serving the community.
Right.
And can I tell you who are pass outs of this institution? It's not that doing so. When it said social service, look. I'll give you a background.
Right.
Deepika Padukone passed out of this college.
Huh.
Sonakshi Sinha passed out of this college. And that is the social service they're talking about. I can give a list of Bollywood celebrities who passed out of this college at a lease of rupees 1 from the year 1958. And this is leased out by the government. The people around this community, this place, are fighting for a playground. They are unable to get hold of it because the government says it's on a lease of 1 rupee. Unfortunately, the local leaders also don't seem to be interested. That's a different. I'm just giving an example.
Right.
There's another example. of in Bangalore itself, another church sold a property to Metro, the Metro trains,
Right.
at a cost of rupees 60 crores. Okay. Once the sale was over, the Indian Army appealed to the Metro that it's his property.
Oh.
The church has sold the Indian Army's property. See, these are, I can give you so many such examples, right? And the church owns property, the government also is not interested. There are so much of such land which as a lease has expired, which was given 100, 200 years back, but the church is still enjoying it. If the government has a will, it can take it over. Okay, that needs to be taught over, because these are the ones which powers the church and its activities. Of course, the educational institutions they run, the charity homes the so-called charity homes what they run, the hospices what they run. These are all nothing but another phase of their sinister activity. This is something what is showcased to the public, but there's something else happening behind. I will not hesitate to say that these are conversion factories. Factories used to convert or dilute the thoughts of the people. Right, right. So there is a lot of things that is happening. Thankfully, the government has got a little tighter on the FCRA. I know a lot of big, massive churches have FCRAs have not been renewed, but it does not stop there. Today, organic funding is there. Organic funding is there. Some of the large corporates have employees who are passed out of these colleges. For example, MSW, Master in Social Work, a lot of Christian institutions run these colleges. So these students who come out are get placed in large corporates, and these corporates have something called CSR, right? And CSR funding, where does the funding go? Naturally, it goes to these Christian institutions. So, so there's a lot of, irrespective of whether funding stops from the West or from other places, organic funding is happening. Then one more thing is this: there is this thing called tithe. Tithe is a collection of fund from every member of the church. So, and a lot of people contribute towards the church to funding, which is unaccounted, absolutely unaccounted. And there are churches which insist only on cash. So there is a lot of things that is happening, which is funding this whole activity. So there's a lot of soul searching for our country to do, and to actually, to a large extent, clip the wings of the church. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very tough task.
Right, Jerome ji. And like you said, I think there's a lot of things that people really need to be aware of to begin with, and of course wake up and sort of understand issues much more than they do right now. Thank you for sharing those.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.